Just waiting. Oh, hi. Hello, everybody. It is Vaginal Fantasy time. What is Vaginal Fantasy, you ask? 2, 3 of you? Good question, guys. I'm going to answer it right here for you. It is a book club where me and my 3 co-hosts discuss a romance novel with a genre twist. What was that? I don't know. It's probably obscene in some countries. Sorry. And we do that. And also we have over 14,000 people on our Goodreads forum who discuss along with us. Not all 14,000, but a lot of them. Anyway, I have some awesome co-hosts I'd like to introduce to you. We have first Kyla Caseby.
Hi. I'm busy. I'll just be doing this.
Oh, on the iPad. That's a good idea.
How many people do you have in your Fallout shelter, Kyla?
I only have 25, but that's because a lot of them died at first, so I really got the hang of it. Because I was just sort of winging it, and then I actually looked at, like, oh, what do all the acronyms mean?
This does not speak well to your future as a mother, I have to say. This is not promising. Maternal instincts to protect people.
I haven't had any, like, radiated babies with comb-overs yet, so I think I'm doing all right.
No Donald Trumps?
No.
Veronica Belmont, that's who's talking right here. Veronica, do you have a Fallout shelter?
I do. I have 82 people in my Fallout shelter right now.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Getting there.
You're moving up in the world. I, Felicia Day, have 105, and then I got bored of it, so we'll see how long, until they release another expansion pack, and then I'm back on. You know. And then, lastly but not leastly, we have Bonnie Burton.
Hey, I don't have a Fallout shelter, but I have a dinosaur puppet.
Woo! Okay, what is the deal with that, Bonnie?
See, I stick my hand up him, just like in our books.
Just like the books.
Look, he's kissing me, just like in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Probably hug you.
He can't hug you.
He can, with his little tiny arms. He just has to get really close, see? He whispers little Rory things in my ear.
That comic you linked was so funny, with like, give me hugs, I can't. My arms are so short. My arms are short.
The funny thing is that everyone thinks T-Rexes aren't built for love, but as we know, built for lots of things now that we've read these books.
Built for way too much. Way too much. So before we get into all that, guys, let me do a little...
Aside from Kyla, I have a feeling, because she's pregnant with the next coming of our Savior, right?
Yes.
No pressure. But the rest of us are drinking, right?
Yeah, I have a whiskey, just a shot of whiskey in a Cthulhu shot glass that I'm going to be sipping on because I don't do shots, but this is enough whiskey for me for a week. So there you go. I had to have something for this book. Veronica, what are you drinking?
I'm just drinking a Spanish wine. It's just a Spanish red. La Granja. It's like $3 at Trader Joe's.
Very classy. And you look very nice today with all the coloration. Yeah, with the dark burgundy.
Got my Vaginal Fantasy coaster.
Yes, guys. Did you
which
guys
I hope to drench in wine spots soon. That's the plan. They got to soak in nicely.
Lovely. I was at a convention in MCM London, and I was given these by a fan who did not give me their name, so I'm so sorry. Please claim credit in the comments, guys, but thank you for engraving these for one of each of us. That's very lovely.
So awesome.
Yeah, I love mine is covered in this Diet Dr. Pepper juice.
Oh, it looks very moist and shiny right now.
It has a nice sheen to it. Bonnie, did you get your coaster? Or it's on its way, I promise, if you didn't get it yet.
I think it's in the other room.
It's not a test.
I do have it.
I love your necklace today as well.
Thank you. I wanted to do. I couldn't find my dinosaur Dory. I have a whole bunch of dinosaur. This is from the same company, Impossible Cuts, off of Etsy. They do dinosaur like little hearts and stuff, and I think they gave them away for Christmas, so I have to buy more. But this is the Stormtrooper in its place. Stormtroopers and T-Rexes are kind of similar.
Jeremy Pinkham in the comments says this child is going to be named Hawthorne Liquor Store. That's not going to be Kyla's kid's name. Come on now.
But yay, he read my blog. People are reading my blog. I made a whole website now. It was really hard.
You should do a contest where whoever they have to bid, like a bidding contest. You could get money from this. You could get sponsored. Like the middle name could be sponsored.
It's true. You could like maybe just not Kickstarter, but you could do a contest where anybody can
Whoever gets the most money gets to pick the middle name.
It could be Dr. Pepper. It could be a baby doctor. It could be a doctor.
It could be.
It would automatically be a doctor.
There you go. I
Okay,
really feel
guys.
like you strive to be what you are. You know, I mean, if your name is you become what your name is in some way. So if you name a kid Doctor, then either they're going to be
Yeah.
you
I
know,
don't know.
the
Did
doctor from Doctor Who, or they're going to be an actual doctor.
that work for Judge Reinhold, though? I don't think that works.
Yeah, he's not a real judge, is he?
No, he's
No.
No, Judge Reinhold is not. I always thought, oh, he's that guy on that Judge sitcom when I was a kid. I was in love with that guy. But that's not the same people
that
at
show
all.
called?
Night Court?
Night Court! I loved that guy. Did anybody
Yeah.
else like that guy?
like
I
that
loved
guy,
him.
too.
He was a magician.
Magician, exactly. He was a street magician.
Yeah.
And he did that show. He'd never really acted before, and then he stopped acting after that. He was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Like, boom. Okay, before we get into
Gavel
a lot
drop.
of things we need to talk about, let me give a shout out. We have a lot of local groups that are in our network on the forums in the local group section. That's, logical. And I like to give a shout out to them because they're all around the world, and I want to say, hey, thanks for meeting up and discussing books and everything else. So, we had the Chicago Paranormal Romance group, Only Lovers in the Library meet in Puerto Rico, Shameless in St. Louis, Missouri. Austin Reverse Cowgirls had a meetup this weekend in Austin, Texas. Beers, Books, and Boobs in Lansing, Michigan. That's a new one. Ambassadors of Smut in Orange County, California. The Southwestern Ohio Vaginal Fantasy Meetup in Centerville, Ohio. They're just straight. They're straight missionary group. Gotham Quills and Quims in New York City. Denver Dames in Boulder, Colorado, and the Buttered Crumpets in the UK. Upcoming, we have Gotham Quills and Quims, the Southwestern Ohio Vaginal Fantasy Meetup. Viking Booty is having a real meetup in Sweden. That's pretty cool because they're usually online. The Buttered Crumpets in the UK. Beaver Tails Meetup in Ottawa, and Vaginistas in the United States. So I don't know where that is. Okay, guys, before we start, and I have a couple things I want to do with this book because it was so incredibly bad. We got to spice it up. I'm going to try to screen share a book trailer for this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So I'm going to try to play that for you so you get a feel before we go about what's going on. Is everyone seeing my screen share? Hopefully?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's play this fucker.
Oh, there's no sound. There doesn't need to be sound.
Is there no sound?
Look at that cat.
I know. That's my favorite part. Good, we can just talk over it because there's no
Yeah,
sound.
we can talk over it and then that'll give us commentary. Okay, well, there's vampires. Then there's a sunrise in
In a
Philadelphia.
world.
In a world.
And this already happened, so you should remember it.
Remember that the Mayans were wrong throughout this whole discussion.
This kind of really throws off her whole book series, doesn't it? Like, it's in the past and none of that shit happened.
Series.
Maybe that's why they're not making more.
No, our publisher didn't want anymore.
Yes, I'm sure that's why.
Whoa! Dinosaurs! Hunt, kill, mate!
Oh,
Torn by a human emotion.
Rage, passion, love.
Will she?
Have the courage to walk into the heart of his beast and
Why
claim
is
the
she
love of this
two different
man.
people. Why?
I know. She's two different people.
Bom, bom.
Okay, I'm going to read the back of this, and then what we're going to do, guys, is loosely, as best we can, tell what we remember actually kind of happened in the story.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna try our best. And I tried to do it to myself, and I can't remember. But anyway, so let's hold up we're gonna hold up the cover. And
First of all, I want to say Jeremy in the chat says prophecy was spelled wrong in the trailer.
And
Who would have
guys,
seen that coming?
guys, we are not mocking this author. We are all in fun. This was picked because we had so much fun with the first one. This one is no exception, although it was definitely worse. But anyway, we love what she did, and we're just having fun, okay? We're not trying to shame anyone. Okay, so here is the story. Eternal Cravings by Nina Bangs. Lies. He's been promised a new life as the hunter he once was. But Al soon learns that all the rules have changed. Now he must control his most basic urges, the need to kill, to feed, to mate. And the woman he once looks at him with both heat and fear in her eyes. Jenna Malloy doesn't buy the story that he's come to Philadelphia to save souls. She seems to see through the layers of deception to the primitive heart of him. With her beside him, Al stalks the dark forces that crouch in the city's night shadows. But the real battle rages in his heart. Love is a formidable opponent. How can he ask her to stay with him after she's seen the savagery of his beast? He only knows that if she turns from him, he'll be cursed with eternal craving. Dino sex. That puppet is amazing, Bonnie.
Best purchase I've ever made.
But for the record, we're not talking about the T-Rex, okay? Ty the T-Rex. That was the last episode.
I mean, as much as I love Amazon, they didn't have an Allosaurus puppet.
It's true. I don't. Okay, let's just say loosely what I kind of remember happening. Okay. So we have Kelly and Ty, who were the hero and heroine of the first book, and they got together, and he was the Tyrannosaurus Rex with the and she did something in the Astrodome that took down one of the bad guys. So there's the 11, which are the good guys, and the 9, which are the bad guys.
Wasn't it the 8? I thought it was the 8.
Well, they killed 9.
Oh, they killed them. And now
right?
They killed 9. They killed one of them, and now there's 8.
Now there's 8, and they're trying to take out 8 in this book, number 2.
Okay. So many numbers!
I love
so
what do you
math.
remember happening at the does anybody, what happens at the beginning? Anybody remember? Let's just walk through it.
Wait, of this book or the last book?
Yes, this book.
This book, at the beginning of this book, it's Al, and he's trying to, like, I don't know, his urges are overtaking him, and then he gets talked down by Finn, their handler.
Finn, which is the guy with the long white hair and purple eyes, kind of like an elf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he comes back to the thing, but then he realizes that he's the only one who's being who has to be brought back. Yeah, he's super rare. And then so that's the beginning.
Okay, and then Veronica, what just loosely, it can even jump chapters, but I'm just trying to is there a through line that any of us can remember?
I didn't read it.
What?
There's let me assume what's going on here.
Okay,
so there are urges. There's a lot of alpha maleism.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mixing of many different kinds of genre fiction tropes.
Yep.
Including vampires and demons.
And werewolves.
And werewolves. There's
and
a
demons.
lot of I said demons.
Okay,
extra demons.
Okay, but Jenna. Okay, so let me just guide you through it. So
I'm gonna keep making up the story.
Okay, you're gonna keep
stop me when I'm actually wrong.
Okay.
And so Jenna comes onto the scene, and she's like kind of naive, but she wants to know more about the mysterious Al. She wants to figure out what he's like on the inside.
That's true. Okay, yeah.
And so, and they have a lot of sex, and it's kind of weird, and some weird things happen. I'm pretty sure lotion is involved.
No lotion this episode.
Lotion this
Boom.
time.
No vanilla lotion that he keeps obsessively covering himself in. Okay, let me jump
so
in.
Close.
So Jenna shows up, and she's a tabloid reporter with Kelly, but she never seems to do any work at all. She gets an email once to do work. No thanks, because she meets Al and Utah Rap Tour. That's a pair of triplets. Their names are Utah Rap Tour. Guess what they shapeshift into?
Raptors! Utah Raptors.
Utah Raptors. Ding, ding, ding. All right, and Al is a guy who he's smoldery, but in a quiet way, and he never wears a shirt, apparently. He's always in jeans and no shirt. That's what I get. Bonnie, do you remember anything else after that?
It's like the Matthew McConaughey of
You mean the rest of the book?
dinosaurs.
Just anything.
The Anthony Kiedis of dinosaurs.
It's so hard to remember anything that happened in this book that I'm just like,
There's no
vampires.
There's no vanilla lotion, but there is. If I remember, wasn't there like a glass floor?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
glass floor mattress situation
It
going on.
was a ceiling
Really?
glass fuck palace that
Yeah.
was covered in mattresses.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a decor choice
I must have skipped that.
that I wouldn't go with just because there's not enough evidence in the world that would clean that.
Excuse
But
my language.
yeah, okay, and then there's not only vampires and werewolves and demons, there's also fae and immortals and tigers and
There's
jaguars.
Fae too.
Oh my!
There's Fae, and also everyone's immortal. And suddenly, at the end, they get together. Oh! Jenna is prophesized to ring a bell. The whole book that she sticks around to ring a bell. Guess what? Never rings a bell.
Oh,
Jenna.
it's like the opposite of Chekhov's bell.
Yes.
It's like the bell is never rung. Like, what the hell? That's not how fiction writing works.
You guys.
It was
that
like
is-
a metaphor for the song Ring My Bell, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Yeah,
But, you know, that is classic Jenna.
Yeah.
So then she
Classic
walks
Jenna.
inside the dinosaur, which really isn't a dinosaur, it's a hologram of a dinosaur, and then she's transplanted to a memory that she survives in order to bond with him and then becomes immortal, even
Right.
though she
She's
never
now
did
immortal
anything.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
So pretty much anyone can just be immortal.
If you mate with one of these 11 dinosaurs,
Yeah.
yes.
So if you feel sick, find a dinosaur and have sex with it.
That sounds
It's true. If you have
pretty good.
cancer, meet a dinosaur. And he is an Allosaurus.
Right.
Wait,
Which
so his
I don't
name is Allosaurus?
Yes.
That explains his name.
Okay, so these are
That
the dinosaurs that we see. We see the Allosaurus tracks in there.
Ah, lassie, my name is Allosaurus.
There's a big Giga Nanosaurus. I don't even know what
I'm part dinosaur, did you ken?
Giga Nanosaurus. Does anyone know?
There's a guy
Dinosaur looking for my pot of gold.
That would have been a way more interesting storyline.
a dinosaur leprechaun shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Where's me pot of gold?
Okay, but there's also there's Finn, who is the master fae, kind of like, hey, with the purple eyes, like Liz Taylor face, and then long white hair. And then
Yeah.
there's Q, and he introduces himself. I had a couple of quotes I had to pull out because this book was so interesting. I'm Quetzalcoatlus.
Oh, he's the bird one. I remember him from the
Yes.
first book. He's the bird
Finn-
guy.
Yeah, Finn wanted to call me Quetz, but I don't answer to anything that weird, so I call myself Q. A what? Q laid a smile on her, the one all women seem to like. Al growled low in his throat. Q heard and sent him an anytime, any place look. My soul's a giant Petaurus. A flying reptile. The biggest flying animal that ever lived.
Pterosaurus.
Yeah, that's it. Most of us had 37-foot wingspans. Mine was closer to 45.
Oh.
Brad
much.
bitches. Wing drop right there.
Humble wing.
All right. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. Let's wrangle it in, guys. Okay, overall thoughts before we get into specifics. Kyla, what did you think of this book overall?
I thought it was a piece of poop. I thought it was terrible, and I have to admit that I didn't finish it. I got real close.
It got so
I have
bad.
an excuse. I tried to bring it to Yosemite with me. I was like, this is gonna be the book I read every night before I go to
don't do
bed.
it.
And then it was like it got dark, and I realized it wasn't on Kindle, and so I didn't have a light to read it.
Yeah.
It's not good. I'm really glad that you
My-
didn't.
My excuse is just that I just was terrible, and so I was trying to finish the last 20 pages right
Yeah.
Oh,
before.
you were close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
really
pretty.
close.
That's pretty bad that you would bail right there.
I know, but yeah, I really tried to stick with it, and then I was just like, ugh.
We call that late stage lemming.
Oh, late stage lemming.
Yeah.
Well, it's the only time I've done that, so that's how bad it was.
Okay. Was it bad? What was specifically did you not respond to?
I did not respond to dinosaurs as sexy objects. I honestly didn't mind like the world building because it reminded me of like the Immortals After Dark series and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I see
kinda-
that.
Yeah, I like that. But I just didn't like Jenna.
Yeah.
And I
Really too
didn't.
much.
No, she was really annoying, and yeah, so I just really couldn't get into it because of that. And
You
also
can
mostly,
call me out.
mostly dinosaurs.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I tried
Now,
to
did
think
you
of,
like the first one better? Did you enjoy the first one more or less?
Yes. I liked the first one better.
I remember liking the first one, but I got about 20 pages in, and I was like, this is rough. This is like, I couldn't really remember, like, I kind of remembered who most of the people were, but it's been a really long time since we read that first book, and we've read a lot in between there.
20 books.
20? Oh, we've read 20 books in between?
Yeah,
Wow.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one, I don't know if it lived up to the hype of the first.
No.
It's hard. Hard to do that.
Yeah, it's really hard. Let me just read something. Let me read, before we get to Bonnie, let me just read this. He was coming. She stared as the door opened, saw him standing there, watching her, waiting for her to respond. He has no shirt, by the way. Again. He just did not hurt this guy. No, she wouldn't let him touch her. To let him touch her was to admit that everything was true, that he harbored the soul of a million-year-old predator, that immortals were planning to destroy mankind as a pre-holiday treat, that vampires and other assorted things that went chomp of the night really existed. Just because you bone him, you have to admit, I mean, it's terrible, guys.
So how are the sex scenes, though?
Okay, Bonnie, what did you think about the book overall? And then we'll get to the sex scene.
Okay.
And then, guys, if you, we will be taking comments from the chat next to the window, as well as Vaginal Fantasy hashtag on Twitter. So send us your comments, because we want them.
Let me look at them right now.
Yeah. So anyway, I remember loving the first book, not because it was well written, but because it was so crazy concept, and none of us had really thought about dinosaur erotica before. I mean, I think we read it. Did we read it after Cthulhu erotica or before?
It was after. I think it was like, hey, wouldn't this be weird? And then we had fun with it, even though there was vanilla lotion like being swept across every chest.
Yeah. Every time I smell vanilla lotion in like a store, I get a little weird flashback. I honestly, I don't think it was as good as the first one, but here's the thing. I feel like since dinosaur erotica is now like a buzzword because of Jurassic World, and on NBC they asked Chris Pratt to read some when they interviewed him, and I did that in our forums and then
saw that.
in all social pages. But I think because of that, it like everyone's talking about it and everyone thinks it's hilarious, but no one's actually read it. So, this book, I will say that, just full disclosure, I read Taken by T-Rex, our alt book, first. And then this, and by comparison, this is like Shakespeare.
Yeah. I'm going to present to everybody what Al looks like. This is an Allosaurus. So it's a tinier T-Rex, but still mighty.
It's just Allosaurus. It's not Allosaurus.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
I just, I'm going to be pedantic about that.
No, I love you.
Actually.
Well, it's an Allosaurus, which is a cousin of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, slightly smaller in stature.
Okay.
Anyway, so so reading Taken by T-Rex first made this book seem to me a lot better than it probably should have been. And also, I couldn't stop laughing through it. So here's the thing. I don't take it seriously, so when you read these books, don't read it with the same critical eye that you do with all the other books we've read. You kind of have to read it like you're Palin, thinking dinosaurs and humans existed at the same time. Like, you know, if you think of it kind of like an uneducated presidential candidate.
It made me want to write a really terrible book, like not really terrible, but just like something really silly. Because I agree with you, Bonnie. Like there's some enjoyable things in just like the ridiculousness and in which the characters in it took it so seriously, and yet it's ridiculous. So there's sort of fun in that. It wasn't as fun as the first book, but it's because I think the characters were more interesting in the first book.
Yeah, and also, like, because this main female, just a regular human, Jenna, was a journalist, I'm looking at her a little bit differently because, I mean, I don't know, maybe Veronica and Kyla, I mean, we're all writers. We've all had deadlines, so we can all kind of identify with her a little bit. But she did that thing in this book which cracks me up, and it was pointed out in the forums by our eagle-eyed viewers, that there's this thing called the 1 hour work week trope, where if there's a character who has a real job, when they have these books, apparently, unless they're on vacation, apparently they don't have to go into work. They don't actually have a deadline. It's just that, they introduce the character's job at the beginning, so they have a boss and responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Then you never hear about it ever again. It's kind of like Homer Simpson rarely goes to work. And yet he has his job, so it's like she had a writing assignment to cover aliens.
She ignored everything.
Yeah, she's terrible.
I did that to my CNET editor. Do you know how much trouble I would be? I get away with seriously, I barely get away with being a couple hours late on a deadline, let alone my entire love life.
I've never missed a deadline. Just if anyone wants to hire me.
Well, if we're counting alt vlogs, then we've all missed some deadlines. So
for journalistic reasons.
Let's not cast stones.
All guilty.
I kind
Me too.
Paid writing gigs, right?
Yeah, paid writing. I came really close with an IO9 one, and that was scary.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it is scary, isn't it, Bonnie?
Yeah, it is. And
yeah.
It's funny because after I read this, and then after I read Taken by T-Rex, which you'll see a separate blog on that. I promise, because it's done, it's filmed, it'll be up.
Yeah. Does it have your dinosaur in it? Does your dinosaur in it?
He does the entire review. So
oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I actually bought it just to read it so I could watch your blog. I'm more
Yes.
Well, here's the best thing. I'm just going to put in a little tidbit for those people that actually did read the alt. I got the audiobook too because I wanted to hear if there was grunting and weird sound effects.
Oh.
But I will tell you right now, if you get the audiobook, it sounds like Siri is narrating it.
Oh my God.
So, and I'm not sure if in fact she did, because there's not a lot of voices. I think the grunty, Neanderthal, caveman boyfriend has a lower voice.
Mm-hmm.
Siri had a lower voice, so it's not as, it's not like Will Wheaton and Felicia Day voiceover or Veronica voiceover talent. It's crap. So I'm just warning you. But anyway, aside from that, I read these books and I was like, Felicia, I think like the rest of us, I was like, I can write better than this. And
it's inspiring, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
I actually did write something, and I'll send it to you guys if you want to read it. So it's not a full. I wrote a full story, but I wrote a pitch to my agent.
Oh my God.
Watching this, I do apologize for that lapse of reality, but my agent now has a pitch for bad erotica fiction.
Yeah!
Yay!
I want to read your bad erotica, Bonnie.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad, but it's also kind of epic because it's in space. Because I thought, if it's a dinosaur erotica and you're not gonna believe it anyway, put that sucker in space. So it's sort of the same galaxy of Star Wars, but they haven't found it yet. So you'll love it. Anyway, so so this book, I read it pretty fast. I read it after I reread the first book because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything.
You're a very good student. You get an A, Bonnie, this month. You get an A, triple A.
Yeah.
If you read this book that we're talking about, it dumps it right in from the last book. So if you hadn't read the last book, you're probably like, who is this person? So Jenna is actually the sister of the main character of the last book.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly.
So that's why this kind of connects in that way. But I just thought it was funny. I just wanted to bring up the 1 hour work week trope because I didn't know that was really a thing in fiction. And Veronica, maybe you could say, and Felicia, you guys have read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy. Does that happen a lot?
A lot of people don't seem to lose their job. Yeah. What do you think, Veronica?
I mean, a lot. Even some of the books that we've read, they have. I feel like a lot of the detective women in the books we've read, or people who work on a police force investigating stuff, they are doing their jobs typically because that's the whole focus of the story. But if a job is periphery to the story, if it's just part of the character that's not really developed, then it always seems very oh, you don't really seem to be doing much of your actual job. Maybe you just had a lot of vacation time to kill. I don't know.
Yeah,
So.
I think with the zombie book that we read, she wasn't a cop, but did she work in a nightclub? I can't remember what her gig was.
Kelly did something, and she wasn't quite as useless, and she was key in the end. And what really bothered me was that Jenna never even rung. So basically, Finn, the whole book is you got to protect this Jenna girl. I have a prophecy, a seeing. I can see in my mind she's gonna ring the bell. And then I'm like, okay, so she has a purpose. Somehow she's gonna ring a bell, and the whole thing is what bell is she gonna ring? Well, turns out He doesn't bring anything.
Now,
You had onejob.com.
one job.
One job. Ring the bell.
When I was reading this book, it felt like, and this is not a dig on Nina Bangs, like, I'm glad you exist and I'm glad you wrote these books because you've enriched our lives. However, I do kind of feel like the plot felt like it was either overly edited to the point where there's too many people saying what should happen, or it was just written in sequence. Do you know sometimes you read something and you're like, do you think they're just adding stuff on for page count? Like, it just, it felt weird. Like, it didn't really there's some things that didn't make sense. There's some plot points.
The whole vampire thing, I mean, we didn't really need any of it. You know, it felt like a different novel.
Perhaps if we're talking world building for a minute, I will say there's such a thing as having too many paranormal elements.
What, you don't think dinosaurs and fairies and vampires and werewolves and demons?
I mean, even tigers and jaguars. Like, I just kind of felt like...
my God.
It's like the last season of True Blood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In a way. I mean, it does. It feels like if you had an X-Files episode or a Lost Girl episode or a Supernatural episode where every single monster they ever met showed up in that episode.
Yeah.
Maybe like the ending of Angel, like the last episode of the series of Angel, and you see every single thing from hell coming at them, and then it goes dark.
Yeah, but that made sense.
Wait a minute.
It made sense.
Spoiler alert, jeez.
Yeah, God.
Not really
Just kidding, I'm joking.
You died, and I didn't tell you.
So what happens to Giles or whatever?
Andrea's reminding us that Kelly was hired as the driver for Ty, because remember they can't drive themselves because they can't contain themselves.
I forgot.
That's right.
Thank you, Andrea.
She did her job. She had a job and she did it.
She had one job and she drove, and she did it. Let me read a couple of opinions from the forums. Ariadne said, somehow I expected an epic plot twist or something. Everything was just meh. And how easy is it to become immortal in this world? And how hard is it to find someone to ring a bell? Good point. Also, Christiane is, because of the part where Al shows up at Jenna's door in a condo, shirtless and in jeans, for some reason my mind conjured up the image of Anthony Kiedis in the Under the Bridge video. And I couldn't get that out of my head.
I mean, how many guys...
See? That's where I got that from.
That's where you got the Anthony Kiedis from.
That's where I got that
Kiedis,
from.
that's it, Kiedis, sorry.
Yes.
If a guy showed up at your front door without a shirt and jeans and kind of weird, I guess if he's hot, I don't know, maybe the shallow part of me would be okay with that, but I just kind of feel like no shirt, no service.
I just feel like if that happened, it would be Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, God. Okay, can we talk about Magic Mike? Him and Magic Mike, I couldn't look at him. It looked like he had...
He was like jerky or something.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was beef jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just watched it last night.
Let's do a little tangent. Did any of you guys see the sequel to Magic Mike?
No, it hasn't come out
Not
It
yet.
hasn't come out yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because I'm going to see that shit on opening night, girl.
Me too.
I'll go with you.
All right.
You know what? That is Steven Soderbergh, which is just weird to me.
By the way, I went to the first Magic Mike with a guy friend of mine.
Straight.
Not dating, just because I thought it was Soderbergh, and I was like, oh, it's his character study, and it was the most uncomfortable 2 hours I've ever spent in my life.
Kind of is a character study like Showgirls was, in the sense that, you know, there is good and evil, there is a dynamic of alpha and non-alpha, there is sort of a love interest. I mean,
that girl was...
I was most shocked by seeing, Olivia Munn's boobs?
Oh, I know, right?
In the first scene, I was like, oh, hello, girl.
Yeah. I was like, hey.
Okay, all right.
If you have a short list of directors who ask you to show boobs, I would do that for a Soderbergh film.
Did you really?
Even for Magic Mike? Even for that?
I mean, it's Soderbergh. He calls, and you know whatever he's going to do.
I guess.
You answer.
So who would you do it for David Lynch?
David who?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm just going to...
Would you do it for Ron Howard?
No. Don't be too embarrassed to show him. He'd be like,
flashing Opie at that point. You know that, right? Like, Ron Howard will always be Opie from Andy Griffith for me.
oh, yeah.
Or Happy David.
Okay, I will tell you what, okay. It'll be Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Wes Anderson, Steven Soderbergh, Alexander Payne, maybe like the guy like
James Gunn?
huh?
James Gunn?
Abrams?
No.
It's because you know him, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know his
And then
brother.
maybe some of like Hong Kong movie directors, like Sweetheart and stuff like that.
John
would
Woo.
Ooh.
John Woo.
Yes, John Woo. I would show my boobs for John Woo.
But if you're topless in a John Woo film, it either means you're about to die or so he can show like a horrible shot of you getting.
Yeah. See, there's a reason then.
Yeah.
It's not gratuitous.
Would you be a Bond girl?
They're not even in the league. I'm never going to be in that league. They're so
You
pretty.
are. So are you.
All right, let's move on. Okay, what did you think about the characters? What about Al? Let's talk about Al. You can call me Al.
Yeah, I put that video up today.
What is that name for like I don't know. I mean, Al is a perfectly fine name.
No, it's
For a guy that's like a dinosaur, like I get that it's supposed to be a joke on what he is, but Al.
Yeah, like they couldn't have gone with like Jack Bauer or Hunter or something.
Yeah, Hunter would have been good. Are there any named Hunter?
It's short for the dinosaur name. I guess you could have called him Sour or Saurus.
Saurus.
Yeah, that's how.
Sal is
Al. Is Sal better than Al? I don't know.
No.
Russ? Maybe? I don't know.
Russ is not a sexy name.
I feel it's a little too on point to name them after, like nickname them after their dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little too easy. Yeah.
Just right on the nose.
It's pretty lazy. If you're going to spend 35 million years raising up the exact 11 dinosaurs to save the next millennium, eon, you have some years to think about some better names.
And Felicia, what are the raptors' names again? Utah, Rap, and Tor?
Yeah. Yeah. I would never ever have sex with a guy named Rap.
No.
And they also said
or show him your boobs.
They were like, we do everything together. And they have like bleached tips. They have bleached tips. Remember that?
Oh.
Yes, that's the
Well, it was
part.
2012. I don't know what that means.
Do you think they wore puka shell necklaces too?
Yes. Or maybe they wear they could be bros and they could wear like the salmon-colored shorts.
Yeah.
The chubbies.
The book was written in 2009. Does that get them off the hook or no?
No.
It's got to be like 1992 to get
Yeah.
At least they weren't wearing like a velvet jacket. I mean,
you got to be like Mark McGrath era
yeah, at least
of the world.
I don't know. Like, I'm not going to judge a dinosaur for his fashion choices because he's going to rip out of them anyway. So it's like,
I'm gonna judge him.
Okay. So we all hate Jenna, and then Al was I couldn't even remember who he was. He just brooded all the time.
Yeah, it was like just like a total
With his
brooding
shirt off.
force. That was like the entire.
he's definitely an emo dinosaur. Like,
Are there any characters that you liked? Let's just be positive. Are there anybody that made a good impact?
I don't have an answer for that.
Let me look here.
I liked that one, the brother, the Sith. What's his name? The brother of Finn.
Oh,
Broody Fey guy.
oh yeah.
Ty?
Sith?
No, not Ty.
No, it starts with an S. Seer.
Tweeting them at us.
Seer.
The Twitter answer.
Is it? Wait, it's not Spin, is it?
It's Seer. No.
Seer,
The
okay.
bad guy. No, Seer. S-E-I-R. The bad guy. We had a comment on the forum about that. The evil villain Steak was just so over the top. I was half expecting him to twirl his mustache. I felt like the whole angry alpha male, I hate you, I want to have sex with you thing is so overdone with Al.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jenna wasn't special. I mean, we did have a lot of critical things on the forums.
I mean, there's
It's gonna read.
Let's finish the last 20 pages, Kyla. We got time.
I like how suddenly Kyle's interested in the book.
Okay, let's talk about the sex parts because at least for something like this, we could talk about at least was there anything good in that area? Bonnie, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I felt the sex. I mean, honestly, I mean, maybe I'm just not picky anymore, but I just don't think it's not that. It wasn't a bad sex scenes, and I feel like it's hard to mess up sex scenes. It's harder to do world building and believable characters and dialogue that you remember than sex. Sex is like the easiest thing in a romance book to do. I don't know. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. I've read some really awful sex scenes where I'm just like, ew, no, stop it, just fade to black, please.
Okay, so it depends on their wording. Like if you use like the antiquated term, or you call your dick Mr. Bobbin or something, then
His Rob.
I mean, there is some ways to like get people out of reading a sex scene, and I wouldn't be turned on if it's like goofy or dumb, but I don't know. It wasn't, and she doesn't actually have sex with them in their dinosaur form, as opposed to our lovely alt book where she does. So
I kind of want to read that.
yeah.
I kind of want to know how that works.
I think a lot of people read the alt book and tweeted me that they read it not because they're into T-Rex sex, but they just wanted to know the physics behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hard to picture because they have such little arms. And how do you? Yeah.
I
No
would
purchase.
I would.
No
assume-
purchase.
No. How do you?
Let's just say lots of things were used, and I was surprised at T-Rex anatomy because I don't remember studying T-Rex, Mr. Johnson's in science.
So when you write a sex scene, Bonnie, you're going to say, and his Mr. Johnson rose.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm trying to be a little classy. I don't know why.
I just went down a mental rabbit hole of horribleness where someone said something about like Rod, and then I went meat Rod, and then I was like, oh god, Aqua Teen Hunger Force porno where he's not meat wad, he's meat Rod,
Oh my god!
and that just like came into my head, and so now that's the thing.
Reading both these books, I went ahead and purchased the Flintstones porno parody because I wanted to see if there was dinosaur sex in that.
Was there?
I haven't watched it yet, so.
Oh, it's a video.
Oh.
Yeah, it's porn. Yeah.
Well, we read porn.
Oh. Yeah, there's this whole thing called porn parodies, which are basically porn on popular TV shows. They have an X-Files one, they have a Scooby-Doo one. They have all this stuff. So they have
Pirates of the Caribbean one's really good.
Yeah, I mean, the Star Trek ones are good. The Star Wars ones are horrifying because I don't ever want to see Chewbacca have sex again. But I will say that
Oh my god, guys, I'm going to try to figure out how to,
the X-Files one's good.
picture.
And I've heard there's a supernatural one, Felicia.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't think Charlie's in it.
I will not read that.
No. Oh, no.
No, I mean like movie, not text, like an actual movie. I'm talking about movies here. Now.
I'm going to screen share something right here. I'm going to screen share something that someone linked us on Twitter. It's Marie Piper's books. Watch this. What do you think about that?
Oh no, Carters. Oh god, is that Carters? Those are Carters, aren't they?
Yeah.
Is that at least one Nick Carter?
Look at him.
It's very
That is exactly what they look like, you guys.
Utah Rap Tour.
Utah Rap and Tour. There they are. That's it.
Okay,
Oh.
thank you,
I
Marie.
I love their single. I love that hit single.
After that, the background Night at the Roxbury.
Oh my god.
God.
Like,
All
that
I-
would be at least
Drag
funny.
rave.
I
I'm
just
hearing
need
clubbing music. I don't know. I just feel I feel like if anyone listened to bad clubbing music, it'd be those three dinosaurs.
Oh
really
god,
dark in
you
here.
know it. You know that they have a tanning bed in their penthouse. What did you think about the scene where they finally consummate their love, where he leads her to a glass enclosure on the roof that's covered in mattresses?
It's
All I
gross.
could think of was like use a black light and find a clean place because that was the most disgusting description
No.
of an area.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, like a room that's just mattresses is kind of cool.
No, it's not. That's on Law and Order.
to be
SVU.
Yeah, that's
a-
definitely an SVU situation. That's
yeah.
like, for
There's
sure.
a camera set up in the no.
Okay, so I guess it has to have bedding. It has to have linen or some sort of like not John Lennon, linen.
Except John Lennon in there. That makes sense. If it was a bed, it was a bed in.
Yeah, not Lennon the dictator. No, I mean it has to have like some cotton sheets. Like if it was mattresses and really nice sheets, like high thread count, and like a lot of pillows. Then it's kind of like a harem situation. It's like
If it was like Tempur-Pedic, wall-to-wall Tempur-Pedic, like
It's
I'd
a
be into
very
that.
expensive investment.
wall-to-wall, like Tempur-Pedic.
Hey,
or
baby.
like those memory foams. I'm
Hey.
down with memory foam.
It's
Hey.
the idea of them
Hey.
touching each other. What?
What's your sleep number, baby?
Veronica. I mean,
I'm a 52. Are we compatible?
just mattresses, then that feels like a CSI episode. Then it feels like that there's something bad happened.
Question: Did anyone watch Jurassic Park? Did anybody see the movie?
The Jurassic World, yes.
Jurassic World, yes.
What did you think about that with regards to the inspiration for picking our book this month? Did you guys like it without kind of spoiling things? Did you know? Could you see Chris Pratt as a dinosaur shapeshifter? Like what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I could see him as many things.
Yes.
I
And
could
in many
all the characters. Like, let's just recast this whole book with just him playing everything, except for weird.
Instead of Utah rapping tours, just Pratt. Get it?
Twitter.
People are
That's his
linking
Twitter. That's his
the
Twitter.
Carter.
That's
People are linking the Carter brother. Like they're linking things on.
So,
No! Why? No, don't do that. You can't give us up, people. You can't
Stop
do
it.
that. You can't let them know that we're talking about that.
No, between that and the fact that Veronica got Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the song stuck in my head, and I'm like, Aqua
And now you're thinking about Aqua
biggest
Teen.
Yeah, I'm like, biggest motherfucking
Porn.
dinosaurs you ever seen. It's just like a whole Aqua Teen.
there's a picture that was like being sent around of like the Coppertone ad of the puppy pulling down the shorts of the little girl, and you see her little butt crack, and that was like a classic 1930s, 1940s ad.
Yeah.
With Chris Pratt with one of the raptors pulling down his boxer shirt so you see his butt, and he's doing that like a bark.
Please. Oh, where's Sean? We need Sean. Sean, make that thing.
Sean,
please
it's so
make that
good.
thing.
Oh, Sean, make the thing.
Make the thing, Sean. Sean, make the
Sean
thing.
is a community member who is amazing at Photoshop and always puts us in awesome. I'm glad he didn't Photoshop me into anything this month. Thank you, Sean.
Yes, thank you for your restraint.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like after reading these books and then going to Jurassic World, I had a totally different experience than I think most people that were sitting in the audience that were just like, ooh, another Jurassic Park movie. I was actually hoping there'd be some sort of, I don't know, some sexual tension between him and the raptor bikers. Like, I don't know. Am I the only one that thought that? I just kind of thought, well, maybe the new dinosaur has feelings. Maybe the new, like, genetic dinosaur that's the bad guy, maybe he also can love as much as he can hate. I don't know.
She, first of all.
Yeah, she.
She.
So it's
They're all she's.
I don't know. I'm just saying that I was kind of hoping for a moment. There were some double entendres in the movie after reading this. I'm like, clever girl, huh? Like, I was just like, oh, man.
Yeah, there was a little, I heard it was I have not seen it yet because I am not that big a fan of dinosaurs, to be honest with you. I was never into them as a kid. Dinosaurs and cowboys, I was like, no thank you.
I just figured you would have been, since you're like such a science geek and that's such a sciencey thing for kids to be into.
I enjoy their bones. I just never was like, I want to see
Oh,
them.
do you? Oh, do you? You enjoy their bones?
Oh, yeah. I bet you do.
Does anybody...
Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park was my favorite movie. I role-played the shit out of Jurassic Park when I was a kid. I was like, I am going to Isla Nublar. I am like looking for dragons.
Sure, though.
Those also because I was a small child who didn't understand how nature works.
Yeah.
No, and so I went into the movie being like really excited, and I was not disappointed. I thought it was fun as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get there's some cheesy moments, there's some, there's things that could be talked about or elaborated on, but overall I thought it was a fun dino romp.
Yeah.
Spirit
you
of the
played-
original film.
I
Have
agree.
you played Ark? I just played Ark with my brother last week. It's an open world game. It's a survival game where you play a human who is on an island with a bunch of dinosaurs. And you can have a dinosaur army. In order to collect dinosaurs as part of your army or ride them, you basically hit them with your fist, make them unconscious, and feed them narco berries, which is basically drugs. until they
Narco
like you.
berries.
Yes, that
So
is
wait,
exactly.
I call them that
Hate
too.
raping dinosaurs? Is that what's happening?
Yes, that's what I described it as. Basically, you knock them out and then feed them drugs until they like you, which is like, this feels very odd, but the game is very fun.
I don't know if I can like be pro roofie T-Rex. Like I feel like once you roofie a dinosaur, you've gone down a dark path.
Yeah, it felt wrong. I did it to a dodo bird, and I felt, but then he followed me everywhere. It was great.
Yeah, but dodos died for a reason. They're stupid birds. But dinosaurs died because, major events happened. It wasn't because they died because they were stupid. They'd still be around. I mean, if things died because they were stupid, half the country would be wiped out right now. So
My
I mean,
cat
really,
would be dead.
without people, pandas don't stand a chance.
No,
I mean, they
pandas
really.
don't.
Pandas
Koalas?
have everything stacked against them. Like, we eat
Yeah.
one thing. We're terrible at having sex.
yeah.
And they're like not good at surviving. But thank God they're so cute.
I lost 2 boyfriends, Veronica. I don't.
Wait, what?
They eat one thing and they're bad at sex. It's like those are 2 of my boyfriends.
There you go.
Yeah.
He did one guy who only ate chicken fingers, like he just wanted deep fried chicken the whole time. He was skinny, so I never understood how that happened. And then the other guy, all he ever ate was pizza. I mean, I dated a lot of stoners. Let's just put it that way. So
That makes
Stoner
sense.
dinosaurs?
stoner, no, I wish. No, stoner humans. I feel like stoner dinosaurs would have been better at sex than stoner humans.
I don't know. I had a
Wow.
lizard husband. I had an Aragonian husband in Skyrim, and I really tried to make it work. But I was always looking over there at the cat guys, just
Oh
like,
my God, you broke up with him? I was totally rooting for that lizard boyfriend of yours.
out mini marshes. Well, I married him, guys. I married him. I made him. I put a ring on it, and
Good.
we adopted some babies. But
Good.
long
It's like
term,
warm-blooded, cold-blooded. Where do you go with that?
really hard.
Yes, I'm
Too
attracted
different.
to- I'm with you, Felicia. I'm attracted to emotionally detached lizards, so I've always dated cold-blooded more in the guy realm. I don't know, but I understand the cat people thing. Like I figure cat people are probably.
You can pet them. I would love to. You know what I love? I would love to post sex with a Khajiit. Just get the Furminator off and just go.
Yeah. I bet, and they would like that too.
They
I would
would.
love that.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Terminator. So much fur.
I just
So much. How do you have that much fur on you, cat?
It's like, how is it even? I just imagine animals are just like my dog and cat are just, instead of having guts and bones inside of them, it's just like a ball of hair that rotates in their body and constantly just pushes more hair out, and that's all they're filled with.
So, you actually touched on something very interesting, Felicia. I was reading a book about sexual dysfunction.
Okay. She's doing her
You.
Fun, just for fun.
back study.
And
Tell me more.
one of the therapies that a lot of sex therapists suggest, if someone doesn't feel like they're getting enough attention or whatever during sex, that they role play as a cat so their partner can pet them and like treat them treat them like a pet first. This is totally like against every feminist bone in my body, but they say it helps like your partner get into the mindset of you need more attention than they would need attention. So that you, like a cat, you pay attention to your pet. So maybe the cat people thing, Felicia, maybe that's some internal, you just like to give more attention, whereas lizard are not really as needy. Or
I think that's probably true. I would say that a lizard doesn't need to be fermented after intercourse.
I guess it also depends, like if you're
Or petted.
when you're a pet person, do you have a cat or a dog, or do you have a snake or a lizard? Like I think
Right.
it's a lot about a person.
True.
If you're,
I think
Says
I would
a lot
judge
about you.
Yeah.
with a bunch of reptiles as not as cuddly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not
Less
saying
maintenance.
having a pet gecko makes you a cold-hearted person in bed. I'm just saying there's something there. I don't know.
Aaron in the chat room just said, "Honey, I'm a cat. Notice me." Throws up on the floor.
Yes, I will say owning an iguana, there was a lot less cute than owning a cat.
Did you have a iguana? What was your iguana's name?
I did in college. I think I went through, in college you go through that iguana stage. Maybe it's just me.
As one does.
I don't know.
Yeah, through an iguana stage, or depending on what state you live, a ferret stage.
Oh, I would go through
Oh!
ferrets.
Yeah, 2 of my friends had ferrets. That's weird. I kind of like their
But do they
smell.
still have them?
Really?
Like
It's
at the
musky.
The musky, I like it.
It's a college. I think it's a college thing, right? Like not
Yeah.
all adults own ferrets. I
Well,
could be
they're illegal in California, so
Yeah, it is. They're illegal. They
Oh.
just yes.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat says bearded dragons are cuddly. I'm like, well,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because one of the authors that we read before, Kat Richardson, who writes the Greywalker series, she has ferrets in real life. I think she lives in Portland or Seattle. I don't remember which, but wherever it's legal. And her main characters
Illegal here.
in her book series, Skywalker, owns a ferret.
Yeah, she carries them in a pocket, in her pocketbook.
To the series, like that ferret is all the way through the series. So it's like, maybe there's something to be said for vampire lore and ferrets as opposed to dinosaur sex. I don't know. Trying to bring it home.
I thought the hottest guy in the book was Lucas the vampire. Like I'm like,
Wow.
and can we just before we end, because we're almost out of time, thank God, but I mean, not thank God, but just like I don't know how much more we can talk about this. But you know, the thing is, this is how you mate with him forever. You become immortal by you would have to walk. Okay, Finn is talking to what's her face about how you bond forever with your mate.
Right.
Okay. Finn was trying to be patient with her puny human understanding. You would have to walk into Al's Allosaurus form. By the way, Finn, what a dick. This would be all symbolic, right? No. Ew, he smiled. Good, she was amusing him. She lived to entertain. If Al accepted you as his mate, his dinosaur form would become incorporeal, allowing you to pass in it. Well, that's a relief. I guess if he didn't accept me, I'd have to go splat against his mighty chest right before he ate me. So but how do you physically become incorporeal in order to absorb somebody into immortality?
Uh,
I have no good answer for that.
I feel like you have to go to the X-Men for that, for some
I
pride.
don't even understand the physics of this world. I don't.
When it comes to immortality, right, with vampires, you have to have some sort of blood transfusion situation going on. Werewolves don't live forever, they just live a really long time, and that's based on a bite. I don't understand how a fairy could make a human immortal, so I don't know that physics. But this dinosaur immortal fairy or dinosaur immortal human thing, it just seemed weird. Like it didn't really.
Yeah. You have to walk into basically a hologram of your partner, and then by walking into him, you go inside his soul and then flash back physically 65 million years ago, and then you have to get out of a problem, and then you're his mate.
It's interesting that there's a puzzle. Like you can't just.
Yeah, you can't just do it. It's not super easy.
Because then I feel like if you saw a dinosaur hologram, there'd be like 20 people running for it.
True.
I feel like.
Wait!
Take me!
Take me! I love you! I'm not using you, I swear!
No,
I feel like.
you want to do your hologram at like, I don't know, like at Lollapalooza or whatever festivals are left. I'm so old, I don't go to festivals. Like if you
Burning Man.
I mean, or you wouldn't do it in a crowded mall. You know, you wouldn't do it where there's a lot of people. Like
Yeah. Was anyone else disappointed that the dinosaurs didn't have feathers? Eternal Scout asks. Even though their human form had flowing hair, which is a good point. They all had long flowing hair, and yet they had no feathers, which was anatomically correct for dinosaurs to have feathers, right?
Yeah, I just found out about the feathers, right? Did they know about the feathers in 2009 when she wrote the book?
Oh, yes. Yes. I knew about the feathers. All of this is happening because of Jurassic Park, which was made fun of in Jurassic World, which is that because they made the dinosaurs look the way people expected them to look, now they have to like continue that falsehood because people think of dinosaurs looking one way when in actuality they didn't. It was very meta. It was a very meta discussion on how Jurassic Park kind of made us think of what dinosaurs look like as being real, even though that's not what they really look like.
No, you're totally right. It's all about marketing. It's not about science at all. It's all about, you don't want a dinosaur looking like how they really looked or else they wouldn't, I guess, be as appealing. So.
Look here. Here's what I'm saying: is that if we are accepting that there are shape-shifting dinosaurs that we have sex with, then I don't think that we really are in a position to question how you become immortal and whether they have feathers or not.
Good point.
Really good point, Kyla.
Suspension of disbelief.
Thank you for wrapping it up.
I like how Kyla has become our voice of reason now.
I'm sober. Also, no one said anything about my straw.
Oh, you shapeshifted.
It's really cute.
It's
But
awesome.
have you seen this thing where you're like, you will rise again, shiny and chrome?
I just have this. I have this from getting the Blog-esque book. So.
Oh, that's so good. I read it last week. It's so good.
Oh, yeah, you got a signed copy.
Yeah.
I got
Young lady, you're
Nice.
nice.
Better than Angel from Lansbury, which was like hottest come-on line I've ever had. So thanks, Blog-esque, for saying that. I was that.
She's awesome.
That's
All right,
pretty
guys.
cool.
Our next hangout is on July 28th. And that's really exciting. If we see any of you at Comic-Con, come by. There is a Geek and Sundry offsite. I'll be around. Are any of you guys going to be in Comic-Con? Bonnie, Kyla, Veronica?
There, I'll be at the party. Is the party that I got invited to? Is that the one where it's everybody, or is that the party where we just get to see Joss Whedon dance?
No, we don't have an open. There will be a cool Geek and Sundry opportunity. Just think about Saturday, but it's unofficial.
I'm getting the shape because I know. Here's the thing for all our viewers that don't know this. Felicia Day is a dancing machine.
Dancing monster.
She is.
Are not in shape, and you try to dance with her for more than 2 or 3 songs, you will pass out on
You'll die. You will vomit and die.
my back at the last Geek and Sundry dance party. Just dancing. I think it was song number 5, and I tried so hard, and then I just almost collapsed.
There is not enough cocaine in the world to keep up with Felicia Day on the dance floor.
No.
Well, I only do it because I don't like talking to people.
Felicia, you don't even sweat. You don't even sweat. You're like this weird dance little machine that you just keep going.
Everyone follow the Geek and Sundry Twitter for information on any kind of Geek and Sundry events, which there might be some that aren't even announced yet. So make sure to follow the Twitter or the Facebook to keep apprised. Veronica, did you say you're going to be at Comic-Con?
I'm coming in Wednesday afternoon. I'm staying with my uncle in San Diego, and then I'm flying out Thursday night after my panel.
Oh, bummer.
So I just can't. I'm traveling every week this month for stuff, so I can't do it
You're
longer.
a busy bee. Okay,
Yeah.
well, me and Bonnie will be around. I'm going to upload my full schedule later on a video on my personal channel and on my blog and everything, so check it out. But our next hangout is July 28th.
Veronica, if you're going to be there early, and Felicia, if you're going to be there early, you should go to HopCon, which is Will Wheaton's beer convention. That's okay.
Well, we'll
I don't
figure
drink
it out.
beer, but
We'll
I'll
figure it out.
go and hang.
Okay.
Okay. The 2 books that are next month. Okay, so next month I tried to get a non-trashy book. So we are reading. The theme is French Revolution, which is not exactly genre, but just get with it. It's called The Spymaster's Lady by Joanna Bourne. And then we have an alt book that is The Storm Winds by Iris Johansson. So our main is the French Revolution. It's not as smutty, but I think it's a really great book. I remember reading it a couple years ago and really, really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to a reread. It's a traditional kind of bodice ripper. The cover is absolutely embarrassingly awful, but it is available on Kindle, and I hope we have lots to talk about. And we may have a guest blogger as well, so watch for the Vaginal Fantasy.
Will it be a French guest?
I wish. I don't know. I don't know any French. Well, we'll see. Okay. Anyway, anybody else have anybody to tell anybody about before we log off?
Wait. Before we go. So I think that most of our viewers know this, and I know you know this, Felicia. Actor that was on Supernatural with you, Mark Shepard, really wants to be a guest.
I know.
That's right. That did happen.
I feel like at some point, if we can find a book that's like the King of Hell erotica or some sort of king.
Okay, let's definitely look into it.
Yeah, let's
really
make that happen.
So
Okay.
that would be awesome.
Okay. I will look for the right demon book for Mark to be. He is a very smart, funny guy, so that would be a fun hangout. I would love to hear his survey of a female romance book.
Me too.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
He has to read it, though. He's got to read it.
Yeah.
We'll read
All
it.
right, you guys. We will see you next month. And thanks a lot for watching. And bye.
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 Waving.